I know people want to talk about peace, but when I grew up, look, I've been stuck 5 times, 3 different occasions.
One thing that has always frustrated me, there's rappers that I've been listening to 5 years down the line, they're still expressing their verdict. For me, you're glamorizing it because you know people like to hear that stuff. Yeah. I think sometimes we hide behind that, I'm just expressing my journey.
When I react to things, I always say to myself, what would Jesus do in this situation? Yeah, he was flipping tables and all that, but that was a real extreme case.
I think Christians are a bit placid, but I do think there's a righteous anger, and I think we do need to be angry about certain things.
Well, you think the generation of rappers coming up now are approaching it the way you guys approached it?
No, I'm happy for them, bro.
So, if we're talking hip-hop and religion, what are our thoughts? Because hip-hop's notoriously known for misogyny, there's beef, there's battle raps, violence. So how do you think the two coexist? Do they coexist?
I mean, hip-hop's always been a reflection of society.
Yeah.
Almost like a mirror to the human condition. And I think all you gotta do is switch on the news to see that violence ain't specific to, you know, a certain religion or certain musical style. It's just the human condition. But I guess like where my struggle comes in is where we find the solutions. And I think when you create art, it's a contribution. But aside from that, it's mostly just a reflection, you know what I mean?
100%, 100%. I think rap's expression, isn't it? And arguably, probably the most honest form of it. I think, you know, rhythm and poetry, we wanna share what's going on in the world, and unfortunately, you know, violence is very much a big part of many of our worlds. Yeah, man, and I feel like even when you think of like a young youth that wanna just share what he's feeling, you might get more out of him if you say, yo, pen a 16 rather than just doing a diary entry. So I think like, when I think of rap, I think there's an easy association to express exactly what you're feeling, and you know, that was my experience, you know what I mean? Like, naturally seeing it from that view.
What about battle raps though? I'm sticking with battle raps because is there such thing as Christian battle rap? Is that a thing?
There's one youth called, is it A-Ward? He's from America. I think it's again about the culture. Like, his battle rap crazy in the UK as a whole. I mean, you got the, what's it called? Marx's thing. What's it called again? You got that, I mean, but it's not as crazy as like a don't flop or...
I did something last year called, it's called like bless ups or something.
Oh,
where it's like,
I saw that.
That's what you say something nice about the other person.
That's very nice.
No, real, it's actually peak though. I know what you're talking about. Still, I've seen that. Bless ups, like, instead of tearing each other down, they build each other up. Like, and it's more like a spoken word kind of. Well, they're expressing, innit?
It's funny. What I will say though is, you see battle rap as an art form that probably a lot of us grew up on. Like seeing people like Jin just like go back and forth, and the skill and the art of it, I love that. But then I think we're at a point where everything evolves, and now our version of battle rap is youths from different ends saying a madness on a track, and us seeing it have real life repercussions. I think that's where it gets sticky. But the art form side of it, I love that growing up. Seeing people go out, you know what I'm saying?
Don't you think it's always been like sticky, like if you want to mention someone from a different ends in your lyrics, like...
We could go back as far as like Pac and Biggie, innit? East Coast, West Coast. Do you know what I'm saying? It's always been, we've always had that camaraderie and that competition, and it's always spilled over into where it doesn't need to go. But again, that's the human condition. It always has to escalate. Music helps to amplify that.
It does, much as
That's a very good question, you know. Like, I do agree with you, but sometimes a lot of people fabricate it. A lot of people like the glory, the fame, the accolades that come with the responses, the reactions. So like, if I'm being honest to myself, obviously going back to the question you said about hip hop and religion, I can only be honest to myself. Sometimes man's blinded, innit? I'm not really tapped into religion when I'm in that mode, more into expression of what my surroundings is and what is around me. But one thing I can definitely say is that a lot of us musicians are rooted to religion, innit? Which is our restoration and faith and hope out of the situation we're in. That's how I see it, innit?
I don't think there's really space for it, like in the faith-based music. I don't think what you said about the bless ups, I think that's like it's nice, but again, I don't think it would get a lot of views because, and that's just me being honest. I just don't think it would. I think it's a great concept, and we should be elevating one another. But a lot of people wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, wow, he said that he's got a nice haircut. That's so great. No one's gonna do that. Do you know what I mean? They just wouldn't. Like, but I don't think there's really space for it. With the message of bringing light, how do you now tear someone down just for entertainment? How does it, I don't think it correlates. I think, like you said, there's a time, and I think the time and space matters. I don't think the Christian space is the space for that. I think people can have opinions that are different to maybe someone from the East Coast and the West Coast, and they can share that, but they don't have to necessarily tear the person down. It doesn't have to be a battle. It's more of a, this is what I believe, this is what you believe, but I'm just telling what I believe. So it's like respectfully bring in their opinion without tearing down the other. So yeah, I don't think, it just doesn't really make sense. It doesn't coexist. You're trying to bring light, but then you're trying to...
How would you
reconcile... Because that's ego as well. Like,
how would you reconcile, the scripture where it says, my kingdom suffereth violence, and the violence take it by force? Like, just that kind of real righteous anger, like, where certain things are going on in the world and people expect the Christian to be passive and not want to speak out on it and hold people to account. And I don't know, sometimes that being on the offense is required. I don't know what you lot think, like,
I think it comes with wisdom though as well. Like, you need to approach it with wisdom. It's like, yeah, the truth of the matter is maybe, they're black and black is wrong and you need to speak about white and be bold about it. But sometimes it goes back to what I was saying about time and place. Like, you might believe in that moment, I need to express this, I need to have this, like, I think you said righteous anger, right? Like, I need to have that. You can have that, but you don't necessarily have to share it. There's other ways it can manifest and people can still get the message maybe metaphorically. It doesn't have to be. And then I think, again, that comes with wisdom, because it's like, how do I approach this without actively attacking anyone? Because it could be misconstrued, and you might not even be trying to attack the person, but then now you're looking like the attacker.
Sorry, if we're looking at the paradox of hip hop and the violence, but then the peace of Christ, and how those two things can coexist with, you've got misogyny, you've got violence, you've got battle rap, you've got beef, but then it's side and side with the peace of Christ. How does that, because you mentioned peace before, how does that look to us, to people, to listeners?
Good question, man.
I feel like there's two sides to the coin. To some listeners, it's seen as glorifying. Of course, there's people that don't agree with the misogyny, the beef, the badness that's expressed in music, but at the same time, on the other end of the coin, it's a voice for help, for expression, and midway to that is like religion, innit? And that's our only form of restoration and hope to get out of our situations. And there's not many mechanisms given to us to get out of these situations. The black culture I've grown up from and seen, I didn't have many options. I tried football, didn't work. Sadly, it doesn't work for a lot of my black brothers. But music was a path that gave that hope. And what I can say really is that faith in God can only make a man a voice louder to try and get out. And some people may see it as, wow, like you're glorifying the badness, but at the same time, I'm still a product of the environment. So it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Difficult
Well,
one.
you ain't lying still. I think that dichotomy between those two paradox, it's like a paradox. Like you're talking violence and peace, and to the point where so many people don't even wanna get into that topic of like, raw, if you carry faith, if you carry truth, you might not feel comfortable with exploring some of the raw emotions that we all have, if we're being honest, you know what I mean? Like, the marches, the protests keep coming to my head, like, where a lot of people feel kind of skeptical about, you know, the George Floyd, or even more recently, Chris Cabell, you actually went to my school. I remember the raw emotions I was feeling, and I was out on the marches, I was front line, and I was angry. And there was a lot of context to my emotions at that time. But the amount of DMs I got, bro, like, of people just questioning, you shouldn't be out on the march. How can you say no justice, no peace? Like, as a Christian.
Oh, wow.
And it was conflicting, because I did understand, you know, I serve a Lord that said turn the other cheek, right? But and people that are removed from an immediate situation don't know better. And being on a platform like I have, I need to be conscious of that. And I can hear the professional in me and the Christian in me saying, all right, don't be a stumbling block, because the anger I did have, bro, was dangerous.
Or was it a righteous anger?
It was a human anger, if I'm being real. There was a righteous element to it where I feel there had been an injustice. There was a real emotion of saying, you know, Romans says, mourn with those who mourn, weep with those who weep. That's righteous. You get close to your brother that's feeling something. So I think those are godly. However, I was also just going through the motions and publicly doing so. And yeah, I think it was a weird time. I'm thinking back to it, you know what I mean, Carl? I understood that I had to be a man of peace and do better. But I think it's important that people saw those emotions. It was real. You get me? I'm not mashing anything off. I'm not turning on the police officer that wasn't involved in the situation. However, I did look at officers in the eye during that season, and I said, bro, your uniform is stained. Part of what historically it represents. And they need to understand that, so they have emotional intelligence to navigate with the same community man's a part of. So I'm feeling passionate now, because when you think of it, how else are we gonna understand? Language is not just words. It's body language, it's expression, and rap does that as well. So I think, to an extent, maybe we do need to share that. If we don't, then it's mad. I don't know. Like, then man can't feel you, bro. Like, where's that passion coming from? Where's that truth coming from? You're nodding, bro.
Yeah, because it's a very I don't think there's a right or wrong in any of these discussions, but for me, it's like, I live and breathe Jesus. I put Jesus first before my own self. And I feel like that might be a hard thing for people to do, being a human. So when I say that, it's like I say I live in the spirit. That's how I live. It's like, and it's hard because I come from a place where I put myself first. And I used to want to do things for my own gain. But now where I am in my life, it's like, I want to make sure that when people see me, they see a good representation of somebody who's in the kingdom. So, and it's hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. There's so many, as we were speaking off the camera, the thing I was speaking to you about, it's like, there's always this wrestling with the physical and the spirit, you know, to try and react to things the way your body tells you to, or how your initial mind and thoughts and feelings and emotions tell you to. But I always try to catch myself and ask myself, in my next move and what I'm doing, is somebody gonna look at me and then throw negative light on me being a Christian?
But on that, you know, even like connecting with what both of you have said, the righteous anger versus how you try and be as peaceful as possible. Jesus was a man of peace, right? But he's also a man that flipped tables when he had to.
Of course.
If you just look at that flipping tables scenario, looking on, you might think, right, that man's moving mad. And I guess my question to chuck out there is, do you think that you trying to be a man of peace communicates the fact that you're so peaceful that it's meek? Because sometimes with Christianity, I feel like it's almost like a walkover religion.
Yeah.
Like there's certain other
It can
religions
be
where
like
there's
that.
like this kind of like bravery and this strength attributed to it. But with Christianity, you can have like a soap, for example, mock a pastor calm, as part of the script.
Yeah.
Because no one's gonna say nothing. Like, no one's gonna kick up a fuss because Christians are peaceful.
Yeah.
Whereas you wouldn't do that with certain other religions.
Yeah.
So my question is, do we need to be more righteously angry, or do we always need to assume this position of like meekness and peace?
And I don't think being meek means you're weak. I think that's what people get wrong, because I'm talking peace, I'm talking all this, but I promise you, and this is with love. this is with love. I'm not a pushover. I'm not a pushover. That I can guarantee.
I believe
But
you, bro.
But there's a way. There's a way you do these things.
no, real.
Like if somebody disrespects or does anything like that, I'm not just gonna stand up and shout. Like I'm not Jesus, so I don't get to say. I can't stand up and flip tables and all that. But what I will do is I will pull you to the side though, and I will have a real, can I say wisdomic? Is that even a
we'll
word?
take it.
But
We'll take
it's
it.
like
Love
it's just trying to create a safe space between me and the world, because I don't have no malice in my heart. So even when you do me wrong, I'm not doing something to attack you, to hurt you. It's I need to bring your understanding to what you're doing and how this can affect me and affect other people, and how someone else might react to it very differently. Do you understand? So I wouldn't say it's about being a pushover. You just got to know how to navigate, and we're the ones that we have the Bible. We get to read all this. So the more you're reading the word and you're praying and you're getting in the spirit, the Lord is giving you better ways to handle things if you're truthfully stepping in that.
No, but even to add to that, as you guys were speaking, I was thinking about this verse, and it's not necessarily about what we're speaking about, but it can relate back to it. And it speaks about like when the world is getting too much, I'm paraphrasing, you lock yourself in your room. You go to the secret place. And I think a lot of people want to be on the stage, but they don't want to be in the secret place in those moments, in those really triggering experiences. And like even growing up, I was someone who was quite emotion-led, like putting myself first, like I'm a bold person. People need to see that boldness. People need to know that I stand for something. And it's like, no, they don't. They don't need to necessarily see that. And I get what you were saying about, being an example, but you're not God. So even if you're gonna be an example, no one should be idolizing you anyways, So I think, you can have a voice and you can be bold about things, but there's a time.
Yeah,
like,
it's how you handle it.
Like even with like Esther in the Bible, she was bold, but at a certain point, she had done her 3-day fast. She had gone to the secret place before she approached the king. She didn't just approach the king because she was upset and like, these are my people, they're trying to kill my people. She could have done that and it probably would have ended very less for her.
differently.
But because she went to the secret place first, she took her time. And that's why I think people need to take their time with it. Like, you can respond, but use wisdom.
It has to be from a place of wisdom and understanding.
And go back to the Father. Go back to the Father first.
That's why I think wisdom-wise, there's times where you need to activate that
standard,
that emotion. Like I'm just thinking as like, even as a parent, like there's times where you might need to like no, this is wrong.
But it's still got to come from a place of understanding.
Okay.
Not from a place of raw, that initial emotion that hits you, that you want to react because you're angry.
Because they can hold on to that.
But this is we're all artists, and I feel like we're artists. We're like we're communicating. And there's certain, it goes back to languages more than words. It's like, we have to say things from a conviction, and sometimes that conviction needs a bit of weight, and that's what I'm exploring.
What was it?
I'm vexed.
Don't get vexed, my sister.
What you're saying about Christianity being a walkover, it is, because the amount of times I watch films and I hear people blaspheming. When I hear Jesus Christ, when someone's saying it in that way of blaspheming, it goes through my body. They can't say that about Muhammad. That ain't happening, because Muslims wouldn't allow it. But we just like, it's just whatever. So I think you're right. I think Christians are a bit placid. And I also think, going back to the example with Jesus, in the temple, he flipped tables. I think in the book of John, actually, it says my guy brought out a whip. He was that vexed, he brought out a whip because they were misusing the house of the Lord. So there are certain things I feel like what you guys are saying is very important. You have to go into that secret place first, because that, even when I argue with my husband, I'm like, can we go outside because I need to, yeah, because otherwise it's peak. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So there is that, but I do think there's a righteous anger, and I think we do need to be angry about certain things because God is made a mockery of everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to like set pace in a way, because if you zoom out and look at the world as a whole, war, violence, everywhere. But how do you respond to that? And I think responding in a Christian way with a righteous anger will show an example that the way to respond is to retaliate or just like eye for an eye, because no one's gonna win. But there must be a way to do that.
I do agree with you, and everyone with a righteous anger, yeah. Sometimes I feel like we just need to stand together. Open conversations like this. This is refreshing. This is the first time I myself, as a Christian man, has been able to feel connected and remember, like, my identity, what brought me here, and you know, that love is instilled in everyone else around me. We push together. I feel like because there's so much confidence in, obviously, all due respect, but in other religions as well, compared to our religion, that's why it seems as if we are undermined, but the way of life, our routine has always been peace. It's always been balance. So naturally, the meaning of my name is only God can judge. So naturally, whenever other people are quick to point fingers and judge, we have always been raised in this way, innit? To bite our tongue for the better, innit? So I believe we do need to be righteously angry, but it's more important for us to unify and stand with strength, because chronological order and time speaks for itself. That's just my opinion.
No, you're spitting, bro. And I think this is good because we are like the Christianity is an upside down kingdom, like the first shall be last. So there is a counter-cultural way. And I think it's so refreshing because we are acknowledging that, man can be, there's a righteous anger, but there's also a way of doing it.
Exactly.
And if we bring it to culture and rap, there's a wider culture that says like, there's this misconception if bro draws man out, man could go up to the world and start talking about the disrespect publicly. And before I've even spoken to bro one-to-one, he's hearing it from the whole thing, like, right, you heard Shadey join out. But what does the Bible say? The Bible says go to him if you have an offense with a brother, one-to-one. That's the righteous anger there, bro.
That's
like,
it.
Man I'm allowed to have a problem with you, but it's like, I got to talk to him one-to-one. And then if that doesn't go wrong, then cool, we go to another. It says go to the pastor, whatever, then make it a public thing. So there's still order to
that's what sets us aside. Don't give in to how we see other people responding and dealing with things. Just because you think that doesn't make it right. And that's what's gonna set us apart. And I firmly believe in that, because I see God as a God of love, of peace, of somebody who has too much patience, too much time for us, too much grace. Because if it's based on what we've done and how we've lived in this life, we should all be wiped out.
Done.
But civilization is still going because God is a God of chances. Like, do you understand? When you take that in and you deep it, so when I react to things, I always say to myself, what would God do in this situation? What would Jesus do in this situation? Yeah, he was flipping tables and all that, but majority of the time, he wasn't doing that. That was a real extreme case.
Just the table scenario, because that keeps coming back up. Like, put that in context of today. You got injustice, you got corruption happening in the world, and we see that. Would you flip a table? And musically speaking, would you flip a table? Like, do you think there's a space in the music space to be like the guy that is addressing things like, politics, police?
That's one thing I love music for, man. I think it's an art form that consistently does that. You've got rhythms where you will just call stuff out, where you will say, what's happening on the roads right now is not on. And I think that's something we've probably all done for our music, so it gives us the liberty to, that's our version of it, I would say.
I think even like I'm like definitely being informed as we're having this conversation, because separately to like social issues, I feel like as women, there's things that we need to talk about more as well, like modesty. That's a real thing that women struggle with. That's a really big thing, but at the same time, connecting it back to rap, women have been told that they need to be sexualized for the message to be, taken on board. But as you guys were speaking, because I personally don't speak on a lot of social issues, not because I don't feel like I have an opinion, but I just feel like, am I going to be opinionated on every single one? And I don't know if I'm ready to necessarily do that. But what I do feel inspired to do as we're having this conversation is speak about topics like that. Like, why are you wearing a mini skirt and you're saying that that's just me being honest. That's things that within the women in the Christian space, a lot of women struggle with that. I've had women come to me and say, I'm not gonna lie, like, how did you, like, where did you find clothes? Babe, ASOS. Next day delivery, like, the same skirt you bought on ASOS.
Not babe ASOS.
I bought the same maxi skirt that you see me in on ASOS. So it's like, I think women want to be ignorant to it because the masses are agreeing that it works. Yeah, you can still be a Christian and you can still be a woman of God and still have your breast out like every day. Like, that's fine, and it's not. So I feel like I'm just inspired to maybe make us track about that.
Just as you were saying that, it made me think, when talking about peace, it does say Jesus didn't come, well, he said himself, I didn't come to bring peace but a sword. So it's understanding as well, the peace that we understand. There's actually a peace in, it sounds mad, but he said he came to divide. When I first read that when I was in a Christian, I was like, this Jesus guy's
Mother
mad.
to son,
It sounded
brother to
mad.
brother, like father and son.
But the ultimate goal of it will be peace. But it's that middle.
So now, like, okay, that, bro.
They say, what is peace?
What is real peace? It's not because
Right.
peace is love and love is sacrifice, and sacrifice hurts through, boy.
Yeah, but that's what it is.
But
That's
we've
what
been
sets us
making it sound
apart.
so passive, and I think
And
that's
cute. It's not cute.
It's not cute.
It's not cute.
It's not cute. It hurts.
It's
What does it say?
selfless.
Better open rebuke than secret love.
Yeah.
You get me? That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
Open rebuke is better than secret love. Wow. So now we got this backbite in Christianity. Hello, brother. And like behind your back, you're like, it's fake, bro.
It's fake.
Well, I should be able to draw you out and be like, fam,
and tell you,
pattern
bro,
up,
this ain't
bro.
good,
And then we're called judged. We're called judged. Corinthians says that we only judged by one. Like, if you are under Christ's law, you are judged by one. Like, we no longer have this mindset of other people judging you. So all of this to say, I think it's clear that there is a platform to do it in wisdom, but to like hold
Still
someone
get
to
done.
account still.
One thing I am just being honest,
Go on.
the entertainment side of violence. I'll be real, I'm a Christian, I love peace. But when Lethal B comes on, there's something I love about it. Or when there's an artist that's sent for my man, and my man send them back like the sport of it. There's something I love about that.
It's entertaining.
So is the entertainment side cool, or is that got to go as well?
What is it entertainment that's involving real lives? Yes, what you're talking about is involving real people.
Sometimes,
But sometimes they don't spill over into the icky sticky.
But when
on
it
the roads.
does, though, my thing is about. I hear you because I've been on. I don't want to name names because there's some beefs that I've really enjoyed when I was in the world. I really loved it. I like the I'm not gonna say that now, but the get backs and all of that was things that I used to be like, bro, he actually, but. And it's not good. The reality of it is it's not good because it's like it's real people's lives that are at stake and being played with. So as I said,
let's say it's not. I get that side of it.
So you're talking about movies?
No, I'm saying music, bro. When it just stays on records. One thing that has always frustrated me is when rappers or anyone that talks about their own struggle with whether it's the roads, it's whatever they're going through, they'll say, I'm just, expressing my reality. And I think that's good and that's right. But we're all on a journey. And there's rappers that I've been listening to 5 years down the line, still expressing their journey. So I'm like, at that point, 5 years down the line, for me, you're glamorizing it because people like to hear that stuff and it sells and you get...
It goes viral.
So that balance of like expressing the journey versus actually like holding yourself accountable and saying, I got to progress now.
Yeah, you got to grow, man.
I got to grow. I don't think that always happens. And I think sometimes we hide behind that, I'm just expressing my journey. Sometimes.
I do hear that, innit? Because obviously we're grown out of that environment. So naturally, we're going to look at that with lack of empathy. Now, my personal opinion, I do agree with you, but to some extent, is it glamorizing or are we televising the raw reality? Some people, as you said, may still be talking the same stuff that they were experiencing 5 years ago. What if their head is still in that darkness? It's beyond music sometimes. Sometimes we've got to look at the realities going on in people's areas. We've all been in those type of boroughs where we know there's so much factors that can't help us get out of the situation. And I feel like, you know, people will just look blind-eyed and just think, stuck in the same cycle. Like, this person hasn't grown. And obviously look at it with lack of empathy in it, but like, we are all human beings as well, innit? Don't get me wrong, there's still people that do push badness, which I don't agree as well, innit? I personally think, as you said though, it's that journey, depicting that journey, showing them light and darkness and letting the people understand, like,
and on that music, there's a lot of pressure sometimes, because you can have the same kind of film time and time again, not the same energy, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
But with musicians, there's probably adding pressure to what growing out.
So where's the beauty in that? The painful, dark, ugly, sometimes violent music that is being created. Where's the beauty in that?
Esther, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say, if it wasn't popular, do you think people would still be wanting to televise it? Like, if people weren't getting the money for it and it wasn't...
No, honestly...
Yeah, like, if it wasn't popular, would you still want to televise it?
I don't think it would have been that case.
Okay.
I don't think so, you know. That's a real question. I think if it wasn't as popular...
People would move on.
People would definitely move on. It's like a gamble.
Yeah.
It's like a gamble of hope. It's like, okay, cool, this is working for a few people. Let me try.
So that's the glamorization then.
Yeah.
And if they're doing it only for a game rather than, no, I'm just telling my story.
That's where they see the beauty in it.
That's where they see the beauty.
Maybe the beauty is escape as well. That's why you got a man that's not from that lifestyle that somehow can find a relating point
To, like,
and
live
enjoyment
vicariously.
because he's escaping like whatever he's struggling with. And he's tapping into it through, I don't know, Top Boy or someone.
The dangers of that comes here.
100%. There's some people that don't even want to unlock certain things in their that wardrobe, you know what I mean? Because they're like, for them, it's real life. This is not just me sharing it to the world to get any sort of gain or even wanting to shine light on the problem that I experience. Some people, they hold it so close to chest because they understand the power of it. And I think...
You see what you just said there? That's what we get blinded to. The power, the respect, glory that comes out of it.
You get me?
I'm starting to see, like, especially now, Christianity becoming more popular as well. I feel like a lot of people are becoming Christian artists because they just like, oh yeah, it's a popular thing, I can go viral. I'm on Christian TikTok, hashtag Christian TikTok. I'm gonna become a Christian rapper, like do a Eugy, or like do a Imran, like looking at people who have done it and they're like, you know what, we're gonna do it and it's gonna blow off. Do you think people are doing it because of like they have an actual message to say, or do you think people are doing it because it's a way to get clout, it's a way to get profit?
Honestly, I think nowadays it's very algorithmic. What do you think?
I mean, even just from the violent perspective of it, I know people want to talk about peace. But when I grew up, look, I've been stabbed 5 times, 3 different occasions. And for me, we called them stripes. Like, that was a badge of honor, you know what I mean, being from that lifestyle. So for me, I knew subconsciously, when I started rapping about this, that was my credibility, you know what I mean? That was me playing my bravado into what was acceptable in the culture that I was a part of. Now, I see that as my education. However, I know going into this space and navigating music, a lot of that is just what we need to do to really validate being a member, having a license to be able to say, yeah, I can talk about it, I can be around that. That's me saying honesty, that I think I wasn't pulling those experiences out to say, oh, this is the problem with South London. That was just me, that was the bravado. It's just some part of what I'm saying. I think hopefully as we mature, as I did, you start to pull on those experiences from a more purposeful place. But unfortunately,
It's not that.
that's
In
not the
beginning,
motivator.
no.
I don't think
And
any
I'm
of us
happy you're being
picked up
honest.
on-
I'm happy you're being real. Yeah.
I don't know if where I came from, I don't know if anyone picked up the pen to say, let me shine light on this issue that's happening, the deprivation, the violence, the culture. Like, nah, bro, man was just, you get, this is what I can speak about, and then that's what authentically came out. And then, almost simultaneously, I saw results.
Yeah.
Because then I've got the credibility. And then it was like, bro, man's got to keep.
Durin,
And before then, it wasn't even mad rival like that. Man had credibility on the streets because man was rapping from my ends.
Yeah.
So it was like, it always was a part of reputation.
Yeah.
Whether, you know what I mean?
See what you're saying, yeah? Just looking a bit deeper now, yeah? And just putting myself in my shoes. Like, the honest truth, the story's the message. I feel like at the start, coming from where I come from as well, you know, the fruits of the labour was glamorized. But what I was around to get to that point, you have one leap of faith. So to me, it was a form of escapism. If at that time, it was difficult for a man like me to do the Justin Bieber type of music, like to try and get myself out. But what was related is what I saw. You understand? So naturally, like, to some extent, yeah, like it was part of me, but, and obviously for glamorization as well, but it is, I believe, it's not spoken. A lot of men in that situation, they're scared, they're trying to get out. And it's a balance of that fear, but that hope to get the dreams that you desire, innit? So,
You see, both of you, like, you had, like, really, like, deep stories and, like, where you're coming from and how you shared them and how you maybe didn't intentionally plan to tell it in the way you have, but it's obviously impacted. I see both of you in the scene and I see how you both impact a lot of young black men amazingly. But do you think majority of rappers are in that space, like, now? And do you think the generation of rappers coming up now are approaching it the way you guys approached it?
no. I'm happy for them. I feel like they've seen, you were the phones on the chess table. They've seen
They don't even need to go
the end of this game, innit? From our era, I feel. And it's so sad to say we had a beautiful music scene once upon a time, which a lot of it had been taken from traumas that we still go through, that vicious cycle.
100%,
So
100%.
a lot of the youth man nowadays, they're not trying to be bad boys too much to get out.
They more than ever.
Because
you know what I mean?
there's such a small percentage to actually get on that side of the tunnel. Like
now.
Literally, yeah, you're
harder.
more likely to be dead, jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dead, jail. Last one is losing your mental.
Yeah.
Come on,
innit?
come on. 100%, bro. Neo stayed true. Like, he went viral, if I remember, performing his song in college.
Yeah.
Like, his whole college was going mad for the song, like. And now every college student and every person that saw the viral video was like, bro, like, my man's in college, like, performing. Like, he's welcomed in that establishment. Back then, you could no way man can even see that connection. You
Get
know
a
what I
student
mean?
before you can even drop the next
You know what
bar.
I mean?
like.
Like, more than ever, there is another option. Which is, I think, very dope to acknowledge.
From young, I've always been music. Like, I've loved music, innit? It's been around me growing up. But I think it was the accolades that made me want to do this. Cool, if I take it up back to like primary school, like, cool, I had a Black Caribbean music teacher, Miss Coggins. I didn't really think music was my thing, but she said, you have a very good voice. Just have a very good voice. She's always drew me out. I want you to sing. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. We're like, cool. Going into secondary school, you know how it goes as lads, innit? Writing bars with your friends, letting them hear what you got. That was manlyhood, innit? Do you get me? But it's like people in my area could tell, like, this guy, he's got a little song. But life changed around 16, 17, 18. It's a bit more darker. This bubbly guy, this singy-songy melodic thing, this Afro wave period, it's come to an end. Just like how the music scene is right now, drill. That was a time period for me where it was like, okay, people think I'm good at music, but this was also the lifestyle that was around me, that I was subtly involved in a bit, until the experiences started to get a bit deeper from my own personal traumas. So I lost one of my closest friends when I was 16. 1 year, 2 years older than me, but I looked up to him. Man next door about his mum was deaf and blind, but he loved my music. He loved it. So losing him hurt me, but also it's like, as you had a youth offender as well, innit? Like, he showed me, yo, try to do music. So I put that energy there when sometimes energies might be going elsewhere in dark places, I do not know, but I found somewhere, you know? And what a lot of the people don't understand is without music, well, how could I be putting energy elsewhere in the same places repetitively? And it could have got me in a could have got me in a long situation. But yeah, Tim Westwood's Crib Sessions was, for us black boys, the one opportunity out. It's proper ghetto.
Back in the day, yeah, real.
You know what I'm saying? I went built in this way, but I had to make myself in this way for this hope and glory to get out of the situation, innit? You know what I'm saying? So naturally, going back to the accolades, everyone in the community, the areas, like, feeling my music, feeling my style and rap, just that power and respect and glory just made me become it, you understand? So I feel like my journey and my story is still continuing because I've been blessed enough to be able to show the wider world, yeah, cool, a man is able to come out of darkness. But, you know, it's now just a point where man can just show the light, innit? You get me? Yeah, like for me, that's where music has come from me, innit? Not many people see the hardships. Like, they'll see the algorithms from somebody and will run with that and think that's the authenticity and not understand the traumas and obstacles that we real people have actually had to go through. Comes with this position, innit? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like, that's my story in a nutshell, innit?
Yeah, so with me, I started writing music because of my upbringing and abuse, actually, is what made me write. My dad's Nigerian, and he grew up with abuse, and then he, I guess, passed it on to me. So it's physical, and it was bad most days that I was around him. So I started writing stuff down, and I remember one of the lyrics I wrote, I was like 10, was, he doesn't raise his arms to pray or praise God, but to hit me instead. And from that, I just started writing poetry, and I was listening at the time to Queen Latifah, MC like Lauryn Hill, women specifically who were talking about, I don't know, just being different from the Little Kims or the Foxy Browns. It was a different thing, and I kind of tapped in consciously to recognizing that although I've grown up with parents that are both crazy in their own way, that there is something out there for me past physical abuse, past substance abuse that later ended up taking me, like, for a couple of years. Cocaine was all I did. I just dedicated my life to cocaine, literally. It was mad. So music started because of abuse, actually, but it then continued because I clocked that a lot of people have gone through a lot of the same things. I went to a private school, it was an all-white private school, and I felt so out of place. And I didn't feel, my whole time there, I didn't feel like I had people or like a clique or whatever. So again, writing because I'm feeling alone, I'm writing because I feel ostracized, and then as I've just grown and going through stuff in life, writing's the only thing that's kind of kept me sane. So I document everything I go through. That's why my music, a couple of years ago, it's all about cocaine and rehab. The year later, it's about becoming, 2 years later, it's about becoming a mother. So it's I just document what I go through, but yeah.
I'm like hearing, thank you for sharing, because even hearing your context, yeah, I understand why you're such a powerful writer. Like lyrically, like there's so much depth that directly and indirectly, like from the abuse to motherhood, that you're still something powerful has been drawn from that to be able to allow you to write. So that's crazy. That's dope. That's dope.
Depending on how you would define success, my feeling is that we're all successful in our own rights. But do you think hardship is linked to that success? Can you be successful without hardship? Take it, we've all had to overcome certain things. Deyah, Esther, do you think you've had to overcome anything in your careers to get to where you are? I know you kind of hinted at misogyny beforehand. What's that journey been like?
My sister.
My good sister. For me, I think one of the hardest points for me that I had to overcome at the beginning of my career, I was managed by someone like this guy, and he was investing a lot of money into my career at the time. And the promotion and the idea was, you need to sell sex, that's how you're gonna get. You wanna blow? Sell your body, talk about your sensual stuff, like, that's what he was basically pushing. And I was like, I think there was even a time I was like, I'm like trying to get closer to God, like I'm actually thinking to do this course. He's like, nah, no one's gonna buy it. I was like, cool, no one's gonna buy it, cool. And like, yeah, he would push that. And long story short, like I said, invested a lot of money. There was like a shoot one time I had, and we were shooting like in this like big freezer room. And we were there like doing like these dance takes, and he's come up to me and he's whispered in my ear, oh, your bum looks really nice in these trousers. And in that moment, I'm like, this guy just put 15K down for this music video. I've done a crazy press run for this song. Am I really about to flip out? No, I'm not about to do that. I'm about to firm it, and I'm about to just comply. I said very quietly, I was like, that wasn't appropriate. He was like, all right guys, yeah, let's run it back, let's keep recording. And I found it funny, the fact that he had to come. He knew it was wrong, because if it wasn't, he wouldn't have had to come.
Just said it.
He literally stopped the whole thing. He was like, guys, stop, I need to quickly speak to Esther. Here's me thinking he's gonna be like, oh, give energy this next take, you know? Give your best, like, this is your time. No, your bum looks nice in those trousers. And that guy's like, what, 40s, 50s, got kids, married, everything.
Massive.
And there's so many moments I've had in the music, I'm sure you can relate, like, where men are just inappropriate, but you're in a situation where there's something you want from them, and they know that, and they know that they might not be, that you might not be able to get somewhere else, so you just have to comply. And I feel like doesn't define me, but it's a part of my story, and it is a struggle that I did have to overcome.
I was gonna say, do you think it affects your career path? Because obviously as a guy, I've never been, for example, in a studio session where I'm like, this guy says something inappropriate and I don't like it, he's not gonna give me the beat or whatever. Have you been in situations where people dangle the carrot
100%.
if you accept their inappropriate behavior?
100%. There was another situation I had where I went to Brighton to shoot a music video, and God really turned this situation around really beautifully, but before it got beautiful, it was quite dark, and I basically had this idea of, I've got these nice cameras, like I'm trying to shoot this idea. I've sent him some ideas, I'm like, let's run it. He's like, yeah, calm down. Like, there's even like a spare like room that you can stay like here, like it's calm. And obviously we were cool in it, like it was very platonic. We never had anything before that. So fast forward, we shoot a music video, amazing. And obviously I was meant to leave the next day and he would like, give me the file. That was it. That was how we were meant to run it. Get back to the place and he's like, oh, the other room, there's someone there, like you can't stay there. This is around like what, 12, 1 a.m. I'm in Brighton, innit? So it's far from Thamesmead. And yeah, he was just like, he basically forced himself on me that night. And I didn't really have like a lot of money at the time, so I couldn't really like just bounce. And long story short, he still was like, he was basically, you have to wait. I need to edit the video. I'm gonna send it to you in the morning. It's time to edit the video. I'm not giving you the video. I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like you're gonna go and chat about this whole situation. Like, I'm not giving you nothing. I tried to comply, I was quiet. I was like, no, like, I tried to reason with him. Long story short, he didn't give me the video. Got back to him, and I remember going home crying and telling my mum about my mum was crying that day as well. And she's like, don't worry, you're gonna be bigger than Beyonce. Don't worry. She actually said that, but she was crying. She was crying, like as she was saying that. It was quite a sad moment. Love Island and I Saw It First reached out to me that week. And they were like, we want to invest 5K into a music video of your choice. We're going to put it into a competition draw. You can win 25K. Everything's free, wardrobe, everything. We just need you to come. And that was my first ever brand deal. And I thought, wow, God is so intentional. Because I really thought I was going to stop doing music around that time. I said, wow, I just wanted to be a star. Like, and this is the results. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe this is not for me. That was what I was telling myself. And I got the success through that hardship. Didn't want to go through the hardship, but I made out on the other end, so.
Thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate it. I got 2 follow-up questions. One of them for Deyah, because I'm interested in whether that's a unique experience or whether you've experienced similar? And then the second one is to the man them. Like, do you find yourself having to check man them for how they go on with girls in the industry? And do you think we have a responsibility in that?
Yeah, I unfortunately have experienced something similar and quite a couple times. And also just in general, when I've been in studios with producers and their boys walk in for whatever reason, I don't know why you're not here to try to do some work, but do you know what I mean? And they come in, they automatically think I'm some groupie. They never think that I'm the artist there to record until the producer's like, no, this is the artist. Like, well, you rap. Well, you, girl, rap. You. And they'll just wait to hear me in the booth. And then that's when I'm like, you got me. And you know what it's about. Just that in itself is uncomfortable every time. And even when I turn up to shoots, people don't recognize me as a, not because of, I mean, they would recognize me because I'm not out there like that, but just when someone says, oh, this person raps, it's like, but again, it's like, well, you a girl, you rap. So yeah, that's just mad frustrating. And I've had meetings with labels, and one of the things they talk about is, you know, if you wore less, or if you cussed a bit more, or if you, then the audience would be wider, it'd be bigger. And there was one label we had like 8 dinners. Oh my gosh, we had meetings, we had dinners, we had all this nonsense. And then it was the final meeting, and they kind of hooked me in. It's something we were talking about earlier. They kind of hooked me, and I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna get signed. And the terms and conditions of how I needed to have my hair, how I needed to dress, how I needed to, was crazy.
It's mad,
so yeah, it's, yeah. Sorry.
Those guys wear big jackets.
Imagine. So yeah.
But that's a good thing to reflect on, because I've never seen a contract where they're telling me what to wear and how to have. So it's crazy that it goes to that level. How about with us guys? Because I don't know, growing up where we grew up, different areas, I've been conditioned from young to view girls as almost like a commodity, do you know what I mean? An object, so.
Yeah, no, it's heartbreaking hearing stories, and I think, obviously, yeah, I think it's only right to apologise on behalf of them, you know, that play that representation and make it so difficult to navigate this playing field. It's frustrating, even me, because like, my little girls are 11 months, and it's like, to know, I think more than ever, it feels more challenging to know that's the world that we're in. I think it's easy to kind of try to understand, but when you actually, I think now that I have a little girl, I think, man, like, what can I do to actively like break away those stigmas that exist in this place? So yeah, I think it's tough, because as you said, bro, now like there's no comparison of being in a studio session or, you know, at a music video and feeling challenged in such a way. So that, yeah, I can't relate, you know what I mean? I can't relate.
Can I add one thing? I wanted to just say, as a woman as well, I remember when I got married, my manager at the time was so angry that I got married, because he'd said that you're no longer going to be appealing to the single men out there.
Is that why I do it?
Imagine.
Like,
and when I had my first child, when I found out I was pregnant, bearing in mind we were told we couldn't have children, so it was a massive blessing. He called me and dropped me straight away and took the money that we'd earned because I was pregnant. And so even just as a woman trying to navigate the industry,
crazy,
and keep pregnancy a secret, because people are, I can't work with you because of this, or I can't work with you because you're going to go off for however many months. And so even just that in itself is really difficult as a woman.
That's outrageous, because it's not even true as well, because my favourite artist over the last couple of years is Cleo Soul. And I got into her because of an album called Mother.
Yeah.
So it's not even true.
The thing about it is, we got to speak up more, do you understand? And then not like brush it under the carpet. I can be honest and say like how I was in the past. I might have been a part of this, you know, problem, do you understand? But the day my eyes really opened and I became somebody who was really aware, first is that guilt that hits you. It's that raw, like, have I really, how's my actions affected somebody out there who, you know, a woman out there who is probably carrying the pain of what I've said to her. Or this is one of the first things I did when I got saved. I had to apologize to a couple of women that I had interactions with, because I said to myself, there's no way I can move forward knowing that I've caused there's no way I can move forward knowing that I've caused like heartbreak or thing because I was living a certain lifestyle that I was only thinking about myself. So I sent really long messages to people and I said, listen, I just want to apologize for how I was in the past. I don't think it was right for me to be that way. And, you know, I just want to ask for forgiveness and that I hope that I didn't cause you, you know, too much trauma, too much pain and all of this stuff. But in moving forward, I'm very, very, very aware now. Like, and I look at everything going on and I don't have no problem telling a man about himself if I feel like what he's doing or what he's saying is wrong, even down to my own boys. So now they might not want to tell me things because I'm going to check them. Do you understand? I'm going to check you about how you're living and what you're doing and making sure you're aware that your actions have consequences. Do you understand? Especially my Playboy friends, the ones who, I'm not G'ing nobody up, but let's be real. They got women, but they're still out there doing what they're doing.
That's the question that we spoke about.
Before.
Obviously, you're a bit older than me as well. What's your view on all of that promiscuity?
It's not good. Let's be real.
You're going to the next topic.
It's not good. That's the reality of life.
Emptiness that you feel.
Yeah, and that's because you're trying to feel, you're trying to run away. You're doing things that is not the spirit. The way that God created us, we have spirit, like a spirit in us, right? And our spirit, we're supposed to feed the spirit with good things, with things that bring back goodness for us. But a lot of us spend a lot of time doing nonsense. Do you understand? And then you get to a stage like where I was at, where it's like, you've had everything you think would have made you feel good, but you end up in a situation where you're feeling empty because those things genuinely weren't good for your spirit. Some of the hardships I would say that I went through, you know, before my life changed and I got saved and things like that was, you know, trying to fit into what everybody saw as what was cool and what was not, you know? So you end up making decisions that you don't think about what the long-term consequences are, you know? You try to grab money fast, you do moves. We were doing moves and, you know, ACs and whatever you want to call it. We were doing things and that's a dishonest way of making money, bro. And you don't think about the effects of, like, what you're doing, how it's going to affect other people, because if you are busting ACs and whatever it is, that's somebody's bread you're taking, bro. Do you understand? And even for yourself, when you do an AC or whatever it is that you bust, especially if you're stupid enough to do it on your account, your own account, you're going to have to... and I felt it. Let me give you guys a story. When I was in uni, No, because we was in uni. When I was in uni, there was a stage, and you know, one of my boys is behind the camera right now. Kansas is behind the cams. Like, there was a stage I needed bread really badly, and this is how I know God is really powerful. So some of the boys was running the scams, rah, like, yo, you can drop what, 10 racks in my account? So I'm like, yo. So what you gotta do? What is it you gotta do? So, bro, and they are sweet talkers, bro. We tell you that. So basically, we're gonna put this in your account. We're gonna give you a receipt. All you gotta do is go into the bank, just show the receipt, and then you understand whatever it is. Then you withdraw the bread. So all I'm seeing is the figures, and I'm not thinking about nothing else. So at the time, I was applying for my uni loans because they were late with all of that. So I'm gonna tell you how life works. And I was applying for my uni loan, and it was just the process was taking long. This is why I ended up doing what I was doing. Cut a long story short, bread dropped. Went to go, and I'm talking about the scam bread dropped. I went to go withdraw the bread. And the stupidity of it all was, even when you're withdrawing this bread, you got an old guy that you go and withdraw the bread, he's like, yo, pass the bread. And then we're gonna split it and cut it up. Okay, so long story short, I didn't get the bread I withdrew. They didn't let me withdraw all the bread, but the amount they let me withdraw, I didn't see a penny of it. Okay, I had to deal with that. 2-3 weeks later, I've gone home now, and there's letters from the student finance company. So I bust the letters and I'm looking at the letters and it's like, oh, we've approved your student loan and we're gonna pay this money into your account ASAP. ASAP meaning the days that I had gone to the account thinking I was withdrawing scam bread, it was my student loan money that I had withdrawn and given over to the old guys at the top.
That's so peak.
No one done this bank drop.
It was not a bank drop.
How do they
That was my legit, because obviously I don't want to take anymore, because
Okay,
it's going to
sorry,
make me
sorry.
sound even more stupid
Sorry,
and stupid.
sorry.
But just to cut a long story short, the bread I withdrew and I gave over was actually my money. So from that day, I was like, Lord,
Sorry.
if you want me to struggle, I'll struggle for a bit, because there's beauty in struggle. What I'm learning that is, hang on. Like if I just stood still for another 2 weeks, that money was actually my money that I would have got. And I just ended up putting myself in the worst hole possible because I didn't want to endure struggle or hardship.
But you know what, you're lucky you didn't have the Sifax, because they would have done you dirty.
Bro, I got nicked for it. I got nicked for the AZ thing, because, but obviously it was an NFA, it was like a caution thing I got, but all I learned from that was don't rush the process, endure the struggle, because there is a light at the end. Just endure the struggle and endure it in the right way. Don't go making any rash decisions.
Just out of interest, what bank was?
Do you think it's easier to sell hate or to sell love?
I don't know the answer to that question. I think the obvious answer is it's easier to sell hate, but all I know is whenever I put love in my music, that's when I will get a DM saying, yo, I was self-harming. This song has helped me see that I'm valuable and I've got more to live for. Or yo, I lost my pops and this song is helping me get through. I think the general consensus is we all love, sex, drugs, violence, rock and roll. But I think love speaks for itself, man.
I think it also depends on who's listening.
Yeah.
Because to some people it's easier to sell hate, and to some people it's easier to sell love. So I think it depends on the audience.
Yeah.
For that, it's easier to sell love, Like, always went out.
Yeah, man, always.
Keep it so real. I've seen it. The hate, there's only so long it can last. That's just my point of view. Looking at the wider world, wider, like, people. We're doing it for love, ain't it?
Love, man.
Love always wins.
Love always
conquers
wins,
all.
yeah,
Always
man.
win.
It does always win, but there's more hate that I see than love.
I mean, trauma is one of the most unfortunate realities that bond us, pain, suffering, grief. These are harsh realities, and I think music perpetuates effectively these themes that people love to draw on. And I think it's, so to the average creator, they can find, I think, more strength from either sharing their own or even fabricating to try to, fish hook the consumer that is trying to find that outlet. But nonetheless, I think love always wins.
Love, yeah.
It's that word sell, though. I think hate it's almost like the fake garms. Do you know what I mean? Because it's the whispers, it's Satan whispering in the garden, saying, well, if you do this, you can,
eat the apple.
if you retaliate, if you get revenge, you can, and then you buy it, and then you realize, oh, snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing.